YouTube, today we are going to be using the Pokemon 25th Anniversary Invitational Championship winning team created by Santino. It's a really interesting variant of Torn Ogre. He had a very impressive showcasing, defeating multiple world champions in his path to win the tournament using this interesting variant of Torn Ogre with Rillaboom and Weavile, which you really don't see, and Water Shifu, which you also don't really see on standard Torn Ogre teams. So we're going to try out this team and we'll see how it goes. But if you do want to grab this team, there is a rental code here. Have no idea how long it will be lasting, so make sure you try it while you can. And of course, if you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. But otherwise, let us get started and play some games. All right, we got Rafa here running a team of Regieleki, Incineroar, Urshifu, Xerneas, Rillaboom, and Volcarona. Looks like a pretty standard Xerneas setup team. You're going to have your fake out users in Incineroar and Rillaboom, probably U-turn or parting shot pivots. You got strong Eleki, you got Rage Powder redirection from Volcarona. So this is going to be pretty interesting. What do I want to go here exactly? Kyogre is probably just like a super strong lead, but there is the Eleki. Eleki does change the matchup quite a bit here. So what do I want to go here? Because Eleki is quite an annoying Pokemon for the matchup. I'm thinking, do you bring Tornadus in this matchup? I don't feel like you do. I do think you bring Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom Serena combination isn't that bad. I wouldn't expect you to lead Incineroar Volcarona against the Kyogre team. Yeah, so I think I want to go, I kind of want to go this combination. Is that bad? I don't think it is that bad. I think Rillaboom plus Serena is pretty legit here with Kyogre in the back and a Urshifu lead. Eleki Xerneas is something I could see leading here, or Eleki plus Rillaboom, and I think this covers both leads because I don't think you want to leave Xerneas vulnerable to Water Spout from Kyogre, but we'll see how this match goes because I'm not that familiar with the team, and Eleki just looks like a kind of a big threat right here, which is why I want to lead my grass types, and they do pretty well against the Rillaboom. I'll be able to chip it down with U-turns. So let's see what my opponent decides to do here. The game's going to basically be how well does my opponent set up for the Xerneas sweep. We are going to see Rillaboom Regieleki, which is nice because my lead's actually very good against this lead. So pretty happy with the lead here. We're going to see Rillaboom and Serena on deck here. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I actually have a double Grassy Glide threat into the Eleki. Fake out doesn't really exist here because of the Queenly Majesty. So I got a pretty good options right here. So a knockoff is something I could do against Eleki, and that actually sounds very tempting right here. I could also just U-turn out right away, which I kind of really like here. What I want to do here, because I kind of do want to get a knockoff into one of these slots here, and I'm thinking knockoff to go out into the Rillaboom, get rid of Assault Vest, and I'm actually thinking of going for the U-turn into Eleki. Yeah, there's like a multiple ways I could do this. I could also U-turn out with the Rillaboom instead and triple Axle right away, but I think this is okay here. If I can get rid of like an Assault Vest on the Rillaboom, it'd be really nice here. We're going to see the Eleki Protect, which is completely fine here, as we're going to see the U-turn come out from the Rillaboom doing a pretty heavy amount of damage. We will be able to eat a Citrus Berry though. And we threaten a double Grassy Glide into the Eleki the following turn. So that is also really nice. Let's see. Nothing really likes getting its item removed. I'm assuming, would it be Incineroar last Pokemon? I'd assume so for the double grass here. We are going to see the Incineroar, which is fine because I can again U-turn out into the Kyogre. But we'll see what comes out here. So we will be able to get a knockoff into the Incineroar. We'll get to see an item. Maybe I should U-turn the Incineroar, but I don't know if... well, I wouldn't bring out Kyogre, I think, but maybe I could have. I do get a knockoff into the Incineroar, getting rid of the Goggles, which doesn't change the matchup. Okay. So... kind of want to go for Grassy Glide with the Rillaboom and U-turn out with Serena. I kind of like that option a lot here. Yes, I do, I think. So I'm going to go for that option, I think. Taunt doesn't really change much here. Unless I want to taunt the Incineroar if I think Parting Shot's going to come out, but I think it's okay here just to go for a Grassy Glide into U-turn into Eleki. It punishes a lot of things, but we are going to see a swap here, probably into the Rillaboom, I imagine. Yep. That's okay here. Because even though I didn't get the best out of this turn, I can get in Kyogre to reduce the damage of whatever Flare Blitz is coming out. And if they punish out it again, I could always just swap it again. So it's not like that big of a deal. I also get some beautiful damage into Rillaboom. It makes it harder for my opponent to switch into Water Spouts. So we'll go into Kyogre here. We will threaten with the Water Spout. And let's see. what my opponent decides to do here. Probably parting shot, I'd imagine, but it can be that flare blitz. And if they go for flare blitz, they get put into an awkward situation. They do go for parting shot though, smartly into the Kyogre slot to lower the damage of what could have been triple axle, which makes sense. Let's see what they bring out here, because Xerneas has to watch out for me going for Water Spout and switching to Serena, which is always something super scary for my opponent. They could go Eliki again, which is completely fair, but then again I could just go like with my grass types once again, so they got to be really careful here. Let's see what they decide to go for. I'd assume Eliki comes out here for the damage threat. I think Xerneas, unless you want to go Xerneas and protect, but that does risk some stuff. We do see the Xerneas actually just come out straight away, which is okay here, I think. So the question is, what does my opponent expect? Because Water Spout here would be devastating to my opponent if I am able to get the Xerneas, but I am kind of tempted to just go for a U-turn with Rillaboom into their Rillaboom and go out into Serena this way. The reason I want to go for it is because of the fact that I'd be able to pivot out back into Kyogre potentially while having Serena on the field and burn that protect without catching like a wood hammer or drum beating potentially from the Rillaboom. So we are going to see Xerneas protect. That's amazing for me. As let's see what the Rillaboom does here. Gonna be knockoff into what was my Kyogre slot. They want to get rid of my Scarf, which makes a lot of sense. I am able to get a U-turn off into the Rillaboom, and that's a big U-turn. That's a big U-turn because now I'm able to get in Kyogre and threaten a big Water Spout right here. So that is absolutely fantastic for me because now I get to put on a lot of pressure against the Xerneas. So bring out the Kyogre, and now we just go for a Water Spout here. And I guess the question is, what do I want to do against the Rillaboom? Because Water Spout probably KOs the Rillaboom, but I could also just go for the Grassy Glide, double up to ensure. I could also go for Grassy Glide into Xerneas, but I think I want to target down the Rillaboom just to make sure, in case this Rillaboom's like for some reason really crazy special defensive with that Assault Vest. I want to make sure that I get the KO on it. So Grassy Glide into the Rillaboom slot. And here comes a big Water Spout. This will do a ton of damage. Yeah, as you can see, huge damage into that Xerneas. Picks up a knockout. Beautiful. As the Rillaboom does go down here. And we're going to see a Geomancy come out, which is completely fine. As it's kind of really low. And that's the thing I don't like about Xerneas in this format, is because Grassy Glide is such a threatening move. Xerneas will probably take chip throughout Geomancy if you play smart. And then you can finish off with Grassy Glide. So it's really hard to put in that position. And yeah, now I'm in a phenomenal spot here where Glide is very safe right here. So if Grassy Terrain disappears, I go Rillaboom and just Grassy Glide, because Incineroar, if it picks up a knockout, I still have 2 Grassy Glide users, which is absolutely insane, and Grassy Terrain didn't disappear. So I guess you could go Eliki, but Eliki can't do anything to Serena, so I don't know what my opponent will specifically do in this position, because it looks really bad for my opponent's standpoint. I just gotta make sure. Okay, there is the Eliki, which is what we expected. Do I need Kyogre? I don't need Kyogre, actually. It's funny because I don't need Kyogre at all. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for Water Spout, and I'm actually just gonna go for the Glide into the Xerneas slot, because I don't need Kyogre because I have Urshifu in the back to deal with Incineroar, which is plenty enough to deal with it. And Kyogre's damage output, basically, it's done what I need to do. So I'm just gonna Glide and Water Spout here. Xerneas Protect is pretty obvious, but I don't see a reason not to. I don't have to target the Eliki this turn. So we'll Glide into the Xerneas' Protect here, which is completely okay here. And we're going to see a Thunderbolt come out into Kyogre, I'd imagine. Yep, into Kyogre, which is fine. We'll be able to survive. But I do get a Bitter Chip in Eliki, and the Bitter Chip actually puts into range a potential Grassy Glide in the back from my Rillaboom. So this is actually pretty nice here. I'm pretty sure I knock out Xerneas with Grassy Glide, even if Rillaboom comes in. If I don't, it actually gets a little bit awkward, but I think I should be able to. So Grassy Terrain should disappear now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's fine. We can go into our Rillaboom, reset that Terrain, and go for the Glide. I can see that they're probably going to go into, I'd imagine they go on to Incineroar to try and survive the Glide. And even if they do survive the Glide, I do have Aqua Jet Pressure anyway in the back, so I'm completely okay with the spot even then. So they didn't switch out Eliki, which I'm actually surprised about. So Rillaboom's able to come in, reset this Grassy Glide, and this is the thing about Grassy Glide, and it's actually kind of funny. Double Grass was a big thing back in 2019, but Grassy Glide with this grassy terrain just makes it a lot harder to deal with. So Grassy Glide is going to come out into the Xerneas, picks up the knockout, amazing for me, as this imagined spot we wanted, and then T-Bolt is going to come out into the Serena, do a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to be nearly enough here. Gets a crit, doesn't really matter. Rain's gonna stop, which is fine. I'm gonna reset it once again, and yeah, we're in a fantastic spot right here. So now it's Incineroar versus the world. We have a Focus Sash Urshifu, which is amazing here, and I just got to make sure I don't do anything super dumb here. So I think the play here for me actually right now is to go for Glide into the Eleki slot and swap my Rillaboom out into Kyogre, because I think that's very safe. Yeah, it should be very safe because Urshifu plus Rillaboom is probably the thing that just wins me the game, because I can go for a Fake Out into Eleki and Surging Strikes the Incineroar and then finish it off, especially with the rain. So I think that's the 100% win condition I want to fight for. So let's go for the Glide into the Eleki, put some chip on it potentially, and if they protect, that's completely fine as well. I think I have my opponent in checkmate right here because I don't see a way they can get out of this unless... No, I just don't see a way out of this with rain boosted Searching Strikes. They can protect the Eleki, that's completely fine, doesn't change anything in the matchup. I guess T-Bolt Para would be devastating. I guess that's the one way, but even then it's like really unlikely. Or if this Incineroar is like very fast, that outspeeds some of my stuff. But yeah, even with that, they go for Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom slot, which is completely fine. Again, we go for Glide into Eleki here, and yeah, there's not really much that changes right here. They, I think, can't afford to pick... It's kind of funny because they can't afford to pick up a knockout Serena, and yet they have to, because Glide's always pressuring the Eleki slot, and it doesn't matter if they get rid of Serena, because then I just bring in the Rillaboom back, and then it's the same pressure all over again. So yeah, this is kind of a hopeless situation for my opponent at this point, as we will go for the Glide into the Eleki. Nice amount of damage. They go for Electroweb, which will finish off my Kyogre, make my Serena slower, and then I'm assuming Flare Blitz comes out. But even then, as I mentioned before, it's a very, very low chance of me losing this game right here. Pretty much actually should be 0% as long as I don't mess up right here. So Serena goes down completely fine, as I mentioned before. This Incineroar needs to have some kind of incredible strat right here, or some kind of insane tech like a Quick Claw right here, and even then it's not going to save it. I go Rillaboom, I click Fake Out or Grassy Glide in Eleki, either one's acceptable, and then I Searching Strikes the Incineroar, and then afterward I just Grassy Glide into Searching Strikes the Eleki, and that will finish off the game. So that is, yeah, that is how Kyogre just really overpowers. And it's kind of the cool thing about this double grass combination. Just Serena with the Queenly Majesty, the Rillaboom Slam, the Grassy Terrain, and Grassy Glide pressure against Xerneas is absolutely insane. So go for Grassy Glide here into Eleki and Surging Strikes the Incineroar, and I don't think my opponent has a chance to win. So no protect from the Eleki, so Glide is going to finish off the Eleki right there. So there is 0 chance I lose to the Incineroar right here, as I don't think it's going to get a chance to move. Surging Strikes will come out. And goodbye, Incineroar. So very, very nice. No citrus. Gets rid of Incineroar. Beautiful. And yeah, that's the power of double grass plus Kyogre. One of my combinations close to my heart, but a completely offensive take instead of the defensive take that I used to have with Amoonguss. And it's kind of cool that we see with Rillaboom and how the grassy terrain has really changed a lot of like what can threaten Kyogre. And as you saw, my opponent might have forgotten that I had that option to go for that grassy terrain switch right there into the Grassy Glide, because even though Rillaboom was out on the field, the Pokemon that commonly uses Grassy Glide, Serena, is a Pokemon that gets Grassy Glide, and they've been running it especially for opposing Rillabooms in a lot of Tornogre cases. But in this case, we also have our own Grassy Terrain to set it up, and my opponent might have forgotten about that and didn't switch into Incineroar as a result, because of how I was able to put myself into position where they were in a lot of trouble and couldn't really come back at that point. But speaking of forgetting, if you are a person like me who has multiple different accounts with emails and social medias and forgets which password is which, why not try out today's video sponsor, which is Keeper Security. Keeper Security allows you to create and store unlimited a number of passwords for your different social media accounts and allows you to be protected by cyber security threats. Check out the link down below to get 30% off with the code Beast Coast in all caps. But yeah, luckily I had a feeling about Xerneas not wanting to take the water spout, so the protect call, I was able to get myself into an amazing position by being able to pivot the Rillaboom, because Xerneas is something you need to keep kind of healthy, especially since I had Grassy Glide Rillaboom in the back, so they had to keep Xerneas healthy for sure. So they did go for the protect, and I was able to capitalize and read that with that Kyogre turn, which I think was probably the most pivotal turn of the game. All right, we got an interesting team. Incineroar, Mimikyu, the Bronzong, Togekiss, Kyogre, and Rillaboom. So some really interesting picks right here. So what do I exactly want to go here? I want to say no Urshifu or Torn. Torn doesn't do super well against this team since I don't have Taunt or anything. I like Weavile a lot. I like Rillaboom, Serena, and Kyogre a lot because I like the Queenly Majesty for sure. I like the Rillaboom pressure that I have. I like Weavile because of triple axle against the big threat of the Togekiss, which I think is really good here. So I'm going to try out Weavile plus Kyogre. I think it's very solid as a lead here. And then go Serena, Rillaboom, and back. I do like this option because Weavile plus Kyogre threatens basically anything that isn't Rillaboom lead. And if they lead Rillaboom, I always have a Serena as a swap and triple axle threat with the Weavile. So let's see what they decide to go here. It could be like, I don't know what exactly, because they don't exactly have a safe lead. Maybe Mimikyu plus a Fake Out Mon. Or yeah, I'd probably say Mimikyu plus a Fake Out Mon. And this lead kind of covers it. They don't lead a Fake Out Mon because Water Spout into triple axle should break through Mimikyu, assuming I hit all triple axle attacks. Or Incineroar doesn't swap in, but if Incineroar swaps in, Incineroar goes down and I get a big damage amount into the Mimikyu anyway. So would be pretty good. We're going to see Incineroar plus the Mimikyu. Perfect. Okay. Good lead here. So what do I want to do here? Fake out, or are they going to swap immediately? Because they have that option for both. This is Woodhammer Mimikyu. I can see Woodhammer Mimikyu here. Intimidate happens, which is okay. I kind of want to go for the swap into Serena immediately, and Water Spout is a really obvious play though. It is a really obvious play. I could go for triple axle plus the Water Spout. It's not a terrible play, or I could just fake out Water Spout too. The reason I want to go Serena though is because I think Serena gives me more threatening pressure. I do like that, so I am gonna go Serena and Water Spout, because if I fake out with Weavile, like Weavile's A is vulnerable, B, I think having Serena in against a potential Kyogre that could be coming in would be better than having Weavile stuck on the field not doing much at -1 attack. So I'm gonna go Serena here. Let's see if they fake out. Yep, they do go for fake out, and Serena is gonna block it, and we do get a big Water Spout off. Eliminate the Incineroar, which is amazing because again I am running double grass here. So we are able to eliminate Incineroar. The Mimikyu's disguise is going to be broken. Fantastic turn all around. Even if they go for Woodhammer now, it's acceptable. And this could be Woodhammer Mimikyu. I feel like it could. I feel like it very well could be. So let's see. It's just going to be Trick 'em Down. I'm still really scared of Woodhammer, so I am going to play very cautiously. Because if it's Woodhammer and I lose Kyogre, that's really bad against Bronzong, but I think they had to get Trick 'em Up first. So we're going to see the Kyogre come in, which is interesting here. So they should know that I do have a Rillaboom and Grassy Glide pressure that could come out. I'm going to Grassy Glide their Mimikyu slot, and I'm actually going to go hard into Rillaboom. Even if Kyogre stays in, unless it's clicking like a Choice Specs Blizzard, I should be completely okay. So I'm going to go out into Rillaboom. They might protect Kyogre. They have Protect and try to Wisp me if they have Will-O-Wisp, which I can 100% see. So this is the reason why I want to go for the Grassy Glide and a Mimikyu. I also think not having them not be able to set up Trick Room again is still pretty good. So no Protect here. Grassy Glide does a good amount to the Mimikyu. Water Spout going to come out. This is going to do a good amount of damage. Does so much damage actually. Is that Specs? Might be Mystic Water full power. And that might be Mystic Water full power. Let's see here. Gonna be Play Rough double up. Okay, that's fine. No attack drop and we should be good. Nice. So now I have two Grassy Glide pressures right here, and I guess the question is, what slot do I want to glide with what? Of course, there can be Togekiss in the back, which is still really scary, but overall, I think I should have this win as long as I play smart. So, because if they have Togekiss in the back, I'm not as scared. So this has 165, this is 187. We're going to Grassy Glide with our Rillaboom into Kyogre slot, and we're going to Grassy Glide the Mimikyu. So yeah, let's see what they decide to go for here, because they don't have the best options. They can't Shadow Sneak for Chip. They don't have any good switch-ins. They switch out Kyogre, which is fair, into Rillaboom it looks like. Yeah, that's completely okay. And I don't really see a way out for them at this point, because I'm just gonna... I have 2 Grassy Glide threats into Kyogre, so they really can't do anything, as I am able to pick the knockout into the Mimikyu slot. Perfect. And I'm just gonna go for a Grassy Glide into the Kyogre slot, and I'm gonna U-turn with Serena, I think, getting Weavile, which I think is safe. It should be safe. I could also double glide at the Kyogre, but I have no idea. I don't know if it's Specs or Mystic Water, so I don't know if it actually has Protect or not. The Water Spell just did so much to Serena. I'm gonna go for U-turn, and I'm gonna go for the glide into the Kyogre slot, though. Yeah, I think it's a overall safe play. We're gonna see the Kyogre Protect. Okay. So that's perfectly okay. Because I made this play because I can get in Weavile for Fake Out or even Feint the Kyogre the following turn. We're going to see U-turn into Serena. That's going to pick up a knockout, but that's completely fine. Actually, is it fine? I could still be in a pretty rough position if I'm not able to properly take care of Rillaboom. But I think I should be fine because I can go out into my Weavile now and click Fake Out. I mean, I imagine Max Attack Rillaboom can knock out the Kyogre, but since we're not intimidated, but I don't know this actual calc. So we'll go for the Fake Out here, and we'll go for the Grassy Glide. Weavile also has naturally good special defense, so... But the thing is, this is probably Mystic Water Kyogre. This should have to be Mystic Water Kyogre, so Scald might actually knock me out. Grassy Glide into the Kyogre. It does live, which is a little bit of a shame here. Water Spout, though. Interesting choice. I don't know if that's their only water move, but ends up working out perfectly for me. Rain does stop, and yeah, we should be good. The Kyogre also 100% confirms to be slower than my Rillaboom with how this Grassy Terrain heals. Okay. The Trick Room's over, Rain's over, Grassy Terrain available for one more turn. I think we should be pretty safe here, because I should be able to go out. Do I sack Weavile here, or do I sack Kyogre here? Because if I save Weavile, I can go for triple Axle KO to Rillaboom, but I'd have to hit it as well. Actually, I think it's better to go for Feint U-turn. Yeah, we'll go for Feint, and actually no, we go for Feint Knockoff. You want Feint Knockoff or Feint U-turn? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna U-turn actually, because even if I reset Grassy Terrain, I'm pretty sure with Fake Out, Ice Beam into Ice Beam U-turn, I think I should be fine. Yeah, I should have been fine. Yeah, that was basically my mindset, because I was like, is it worth setting up the Grassy Terrain because of the fact that I'd be able to give their Rillaboom a chance to Grassy Glide threaten my Kyogre? But since my Rillaboom was pretty much always faster than their Rillaboom, I'm assuming, and I'd have Fake Out pressure into Ice Beam because I'm assuming they're Assault Vest, I'd be able to U-turn again. I think I would have been fine at the end of the day. But yeah, Weavile, I could have done more, I guess. I mean, it did what I needed to do, right? I was hoping Weavile would be able to put in more pressure with like triple Axle stuff in the end game, but Serena went down early, and yeah, I mean, it probably could have. It depended on if Grassy Glide killed Weavile, but I'm pretty sure it would have at that point of the game. I probably could have ended the game with Weavile too, but again, I don't want to risk the triple Axle miss. Even with Wide Lens increasing the accuracy, still better, I think, just to go for the 100% accurate moves, and it should still win me the game at the end of the day. So yeah, luckily we got to show off, I think, every single member of the team except Torn, but like the Tornadus Kyogre is not something new that we need to see. We got to show off some of the cool Pokemon with Weavile. Triple Axle Threat is also really cool, of course. It does so much damage to like Rillaboom, and the synergy with the Serena just puts a lot of pressure, because a lot of the answers to Kyogre are with Regieleki plus Rillaboom. Rillaboom, if they elite it, you can triple Axle swap to Serena, and you can pick up a knockout that way. Or like under Tailwind, you can triple Axle KO to Eleki, assuming you hit all attacks. So it's a pretty cool tech. And that is going to be the end of the video. Weavile, while not having a super strong showcase in today's video, did a lot of work for Santino on the official stream. I highly recommend checking out the VODs because Weavile went absolutely crazy there. But the rest of the team ended up doing really strong. Serena and Rillaboom, actually fantastic synergy with Kyogre. It actually is crazy how much double grassy glide pressure really is. But as you all know, you can check out this team, try it out for yourselves. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. While you're down there, leave a like down below as well. It really does help me out. But yeah, that's going to be it. We're going to be trying out all the invitational teams on the channel. And next one, we'll be trying out Ryota's team. But until then, until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.